Well, good morning. Welcome to my word for the day. I'm Lee Watson. Hope you're having a great day and hope I can make it a little bit better. Okay, so the title that I chose today, which says, "What do I do when I don't know what to do?" is all about those times in our lives when we feel lost. And it happens to everyone, happens to me too. And I want to talk about it a little bit because I think it's good for me and I think it's good for you. And I hope you enjoy it. So, I'm Lee Watson. I'm an advisor, business advisor. I'm an entrepreneur, an adventurer, hopefully a good teacher at some point, and a good writer. There's lots of things that I want to do in life. And so, I'm going to share with you a little bit about what happens when we feel lost. And maybe you're one of the lucky few who never feels anxiety or pain or pressure to perform in a way that you don't know whether or not you can. All those kind of things. Those are what I'm talking about when I say, "What do I do when I don't know what to do?" I'm kind of stuck, and so it happens. And I had an experience with that. Uh, and it actually lasted for several days, and that was just recently for me. And I know when I'm in a negative vibration, and that's what I'm going to call this state, this state of confusion, of anger, sometimes of just a disorientation. I'm just going to call it a negative vibration, just for easy reference here. So when I know that I'm in a negative vibration, and I know that because I'm sensitive to that, it's important for me to know that. The reason that it's important for me to know that is because it's not productive. It doesn't help me to get to where I want to be. There's nothing good about being in a negative vibration. And so what do? Well, first of all, because you're probably not going to be terribly effective or efficient, it's good to take a moment and use your brain here, use your whole mind, your being, and acknowledge that, there's something that I might want to do differently. And it's often our own attitude, our own choice of activities. It's many things that we do have some control over. Now, I wake up in the morning and I have a routine, and it includes being grateful. It includes reading and meditating and things like that. And I noticed recently that I was resistant to the things that I know are good because I was stuck. And it's a painful thing for me to do because most people expect me to be a positive, helpful person. And if I'm not, I can fake it a little bit for sure. But if I'm not fully present, if I'm not 100%, I don't have to be 100%. If I'm not at least 80%, chances are I'm not going to be as helpful as I could be. All right. So, what do I do when I don't know what to do? I mentioned already, I stop and I think, what can I be doing? What can I change? Where's my attitude here? Where's my sense of, of gratitude and love and peace and joy and hope for everybody, not just myself, but for the whole world? And when I think about these things, I think about um, all the people. Well, I first think about God, and then I think about all the people in my life who have been so helpful to me in so many ways and who are concerned about me and who know when I'm off balance. I think about them and I think it's really not fair for me. It's not fair, it's not nice, it's not helpful, it's not anything good when I am not in a position to spread love and peace and joy and all that kind of stuff. And I don't do my work as well. So, spending time thinking about what I could be doing, what the ways that I could react or respond to the outside influences and the inside influences. By the way, our self-talk is so important here. If we start getting into a negative vibration, that's the generic term I'm using for this situation where we just don't know what to do. When I find myself in that negative vibration, often there's a recurring downward spiraling thought going on. And it could be something to do with relationships or finances or 100 other things, whatever the main things are in your life. And when that happens, guess what? People notice. People notice. And I feel for the people, I know people who tend to be in this position fairly regularly. And I think that I do my best to calm them and to help them. At least I'm trying to do my best to calm them and help them. And when I get into that situation, and I get over the surprise that people see, and they'll tell me, several people will tell me, hey, what's happening? You don't seem to be you. Well, that's enough. That's enough for me to hide. That's my first action. I try to take a little time and go be quiet, whether it's in a forest, which I actually spent some time in a park yesterday because I really needed to be amongst the nature there, and I needed to recharge and regenerate, to find my happy place. If you don't have a happy place, by the way, find one. A happy place is that thing that you can bring into your mind and know that you're safe there and that the world is right there and that God is there with you. And people have lots of differences of opinion about what God is, and that's fine. Generally, I think that God should be thought of as love. It's but you can do your own thing in that regard. But your happy place has all the good things. So find your happy place. Make one if you haven't yet. I can tell you that mine is in the mountains with a little stream and trees and flowers. And I have this picture. And yours could be anywhere. It could be on the top of a skyscraper. I don't know. For me, that's not a happy place, but wherever it is, find it and use it. And it only takes a few minutes in your happy place to settle a little bit. And once you can settle a little bit and think a little bit more rationally, it's not just rationally, it's rationally and emotionally stable. You can start to unwind that negativity and come back to the place where you can be effective and efficient, and you can be that person who's loving and caring and helpful. And that's what we want to be. So that's really my thought for today. But I'm going to take just a minute. I'm about at the end of my thing, but I want to talk about the word humility. just for a second. The word humility says it's being modest, humble, and unpretentious, and we consider other views and needs as important as our own. We willingly serve others and accept help when we need it. When we cause hurt, we have the humility to admit it and make amends. We accept the lessons life brings. And there's a lot of stuff about humility that's really important to me. I'm not going to do the whole word, but I wanted to get to the quote here on the back side. It says, "I long to accomplish great and noble tasks, but it is my chief duty to accomplish humble tasks as though they were great and noble." That comes from Helen Keller. Most of you recognize that name. And that humility is one of the things that helps us to maintain in difficult times. All right. I think I said pretty much everything I wanted to say today. And I hope that if you have difficult times, that you can either find that within yourself and within the scope of people who you know and your vision of God, hopefully you can find a way to get out as quickly as possible of any negative vibration and move on into what you were designed to do. You know, I'm just a regular guy. I don't have visions of me being king of the world or anything like that. I'm not the best at anything in the world, and nobody is the best at everything in the world. So find your place, do the best you can with the gifts and talents and abilities that you have, and make a difference in your world. And that's enough. We are enough when we do the best we can. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that. I know it's kind of cathartic for me to talk a little bit about the reality, which is that I have my moments of challenge and despair, and I don't know what to do kind of stuff, just like everybody else does. And if you want to talk more about anything I talked about today or anything at all, set up a time to talk to me. Go to businessbeyondnumbers.com/contact and pick a time and day that works for you. And we'll just chat a little bit. It's a 15-minute call, and I really enjoy doing these things. And if you're interested in just talking about stuff, this is not a therapy session. This is just hey, here's what's going on. I saw your video. I thought it was pretty good, or I thought it sucked, whatever the case may be. And give me your opinions. I'd love to have it. You know, I really do appreciate the importance of people sharing their opinions with me. And that's why the comments section is so important to me. I mean, I really enjoy the thumbs up and the hearts and the shares and all that kind of stuff, but it's the comments that the honest comments about, you know, hey, I thought I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was terrible. Whatever it is, follow up with a little bit of insight that I can learn from, because I do want to learn. That's important to me. Okay, I've gone over time again, and I'm going to remind you to do something nice for somebody else today. And if you have the resources to do something really nice for a whole bunch of people, do that, because it's a good thing to do, and it's wonderful to see. And yeah, so let's be the light in our world. Let's be that source of love and peace and kindness and joy and hope and cooperation and all good things. And when we notice that we're not being that, let's fix it. Let's change it. Let's be the person that we really want to be, and make the world a better place. Okay, that's all for now. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.